Hi, this is Mark Pritchard, and I'd like to give you a quick overview of the Oracle Traffic Director product, which we will shortly be announcing for the Exalogic 1.1 platform. Now, what I have here is I've installed Oracle Traffic Director on a hosted Linux box here, and this is where I'm running the administration server from which I can control the configuration of all the other nodes here. And I have two virtual machines, mPritchard VM1 and mPritchard VM2, and I have OTD running on both of those systems, and I've deployed an instance of this configuration, OTD demo, to each of those machines. You can see those here. If we have a quick look at this configuration, you can see that I have HTTP and secure listeners on the default ports, and I have a virtual server here, mPritchard VM3. Now this is using a third address that I want to use as a highly available virtual IP, a VIP, and I'll show you how we do that in a second. And on that, for that virtual server, I've defined a simple routing rule. In this case, I've just got a default route where I'm sending all traffic to an origin server pool, which in fact consists of load balancing across a WebLogic server cluster. Now this is actually a 4-node WebLogic server cluster. You see that I've only specified 2 servers here. We implement the dynamic discovery protocol that WebLogic server supports, and so we will in fact be load balancing across all 4 members of the cluster. And if I were to add an additional server into that cluster, for example, we would detect that and add it into the load balancing algorithm as well. And I can demonstrate that to you quickly later on. I'm running a simple shopping cart application on those servers, and some of that application consists of static content. So for example, I've set up a simple caching rule here that says that any URL pattern that matches shopping cart / browse star, those are static content, and therefore we can implement caching at OTD, so we don't have to forward the request through to the origin servers, and obviously we will have to obey the caching directives that are sent from the application itself. So that's the basic setup. You can also see that we have an HTTPS listener on the default 443, so this is for SSL connections, and as well as the default virtual server, I've also defined 2 more virtual servers which have their own server certificates to identify them, and through SNI we can actually have all 3 of those virtual servers listening on a single SSL listener there. But for now I want to concentrate on the default virtual server, which is set up to listen on mPritchard VM3. And how I can do this is creating what we call an HA failover group. Now this is a pair of servers that basically have a heartbeat between them, so that if the primary is partitioned from the network, or there's an operating system error or anything that really prevents it listening for